Hey guys, this is Eric Lovelace from ericlovelacemarketing.com. Today I have an awesome interview with Voss and his new product, Money CRM. Voss, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh, and I am definitely excited to have you here. So I hear
Awesome.
you're pretty much of like a project management and outsourcing expert. Do you mind going into a little bit about yourself?
Well, I wouldn't say an expert. I'm always learning. I started outsourcing a couple of years ago when I started a company, and that company was called Kinetic Typography. I outsourced videos. I would get clients in the U.S. and outsource the production to India. And I used to make really good margins on that. I used to be able to sell a video of 1 minute in length for $1,000, and I would outsource it for $300, keeping about $700 margin. It was insane. I wouldn't get a lot of clients, but when you would get them, it would be payday. So it was ebbs and flows, up and down, business cycles and all that. I don't really fully understand how the business cycles work. All I know is that some months I used to make a whole lot of money. Other months there would be absolutely no clients at all. So it wasn't very reliable. And I realized that, as time goes on, you kind of realize that, hey, more people can afford your stuff if you price it lower. So I started lowering prices. Eventually, it wasn't as appealing anymore, right? The margins just weren't there. So recently, actually, software came out by a friend of mine, Peter. He made Video Maker Effects, which completely, pretty much eradicates that old business model of creating a business and then, creating videos for U.S. companies based on labor outside of the U.S. But
Right.
what I did discover is that there are a lot of smart people out there looking for jobs. A lot of PhD candidates, a lot of PhD doctors who have actually went through grad school out there looking for work. And they're abroad, so they're not going to be asking for a U.S. salary. And they're going to do one hell of a job for you. So some of those lessons, came to me not very easily, and truthfully, they were very costly at times. So I've decided to do something about it and educate people about what I know, what I've learned, and how it's been for me. I realize that outsourcing is really the only way to get your work done quicker and easier than today. And if you've never done that before, I understand how outlandish that might sound, but you can trust other people with your work. Have you had any experience with outsourcing?
Oh yeah, I've done a couple of few outsourced products myself. When I first started in marketing, I was outsourcing a few websites, but I
Uh-huh.
did find that kind of hard to keep track of my employees and what they were doing at times. Some
Right.
deadlines weren't being met, so I was getting very frustrated.
Mm. I mean, the problem with outsourcing is that there are all these great websites out there that'll let you do that. They'll usually charge a small fee for the transaction that you do end up having, and they build in all these great protections to make sure that you actually get your money's worth, that you don't have to pay up front necessarily, and things like that. But
Mhm.
what is still difficult is you have all of these sticky notes all over the place. You have all these notes and notebooks, and yeah, you have notepads here and there. You've got phone calls coming in. You might not necessarily have a straight up record of everything in one place.
Oh
And even
yes.
if you do have a spreadsheet, even if you have a very neatly organized spreadsheet with columns and rows all labeled nicely, it might still not be enough in remembering the little things like paying your employees or recording when they're going to be absent when they let you know in advance, so that you're stuck counting on them on a day when they're not able to come into work. Or how many times has this happened? When you go to work on a Monday and a client calls you angry saying, "I told you to call me by last Friday. Why didn't you call me?" That's an uncomfortable situation to deal with. And to avoid that, you really have to be on top of your things. You really have to get focused. You have to get organized. You have to have a system in place. And so what I've done is I've built that system, and I've decided to let people have access to it.
Wow, that is crazy, Voss. Now, do you mind saying what the system is in like retrospect, or because I know, like myself, like you've already said that, like I have had it when I've outsourced like a billion notes everywhere trying to remind me of stuff. I've even had it to where I have to constantly have reminders on my phone pinging me when I have to contact a client and
Yep.
stuff. So I've heard that you've come up with this new software that helps with that. Do you mind saying what it is and everything?
Yeah, I'm very happy to present it. It's called Money CRM, and Money CRM stands for Client Relationship Management. That's what CRM is. There are some interpretations of this as customer relationship management, but I really like to think of it as clients because you really have two kinds of clients. You have your employees, the ones you got to pay to do a good job, and then you have your actual customers who you're serving. And no matter what
Right.
niche you're in, those are going to be the two types of people you're going to be dealing with. Those are what are vaguely referred to as partners. A lot of times people out there will say, well, I have a lot of partners. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean people you're paying or people who are paying you? And so I
Right.
needed a system that would make it really easy to keep my expenses and my revenues, money coming into the company, money leaving out. And I needed a place where I could keep all the records. So let me actually go ahead and share my screen with you and show you what this bad boy looks like.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, boss.
Yeah, I created a demo account here for you. It's ericlovelace.moneycrm.com. If anybody wants to check out the login page and what that looks like, that's the address for it. Now, real quick, here are your company settings. This software is really customizable. Now, here we can write Eric's customers and staff panel. Suppose you want to rename it to this.
All right.
Right? You can rename it to anything you want. Eric Incorporated, right? You can make it as big or small. You can sell it to anybody out there who might need, some sort of presence, some sort of an online gathering where they can have all their records in one place. You can even upload your company logo. In some countries, it's necessary to have tax values, but for most
Mhm.
businesses, it's not necessary to keep records of that because PayPal will typically, take track of that, or your bank will send you some documentation at the end. So now our
Right.
records have updated, and our logo and our name will appear in here. So
Oh.
now it's basically your home base. Now on your home page, you have your attendance, your payments, your clients. Now right now we have no data, so there's nothing to display. But as you go through and create it, it all becomes very easy to manage from one home screen. Under
Oh.
users, you would add your usernames that are able to access your panel. So if you want to give me, access to everything that I'm seeing here right now, you could access it with your username or somebody else's username. You simply create it here. Under payments, you can keep track of all the money that goes in and out of your company. So for example, if you got $1,000 today, you can record it as income for Tuesday, May 6th, and that'll be recorded under payment details right here as income. Obviously, you would want to write something in a description, but it's not necessary to keep track of descriptions. All you need is the amount, and what is it? Is it an income or is it an expense? That's all. Awards are just for handing out bonuses to your employees. Your employees are down here below. All of their details are displayed in one screen. You can see what their code number is, which you assigned to them, what department they belong, and more on that in a couple of steps right down here. You can see their first and last name, their date of birth. Under clients, same exact thing for clients. What's their name? What country are they from? How do you reach them? What's the name of their company? And their status. The status is very important. You want to be able to differentiate your prospects from your clients. Your prospects are your leads. Your prospects are the ones you actually want to get in touch with and sell on your products. Now these right here are guys who are already paying you. And you can keep whatever sort of notes you want about them. It's very easy to just have everything in one place. What do you think so far?
Oh my gosh, I am so blown away. This is like any other CRM system I've seen out there, and I've seen a few.
If you have your designers, in one category, you can group them under one department. If you have all of your writers, you can group them in one category as well. Departments are like categories in WordPress. Anybody out there who's ever written a WordPress blog will be able to grasp the concept of a department. It's just your way of grouping your employees so that when you do go to create your new employee, you can select exactly where they should go.
Oh.
And attendance is the last cool feature, and the reason I say that is because not a lot of people think about this, but I've built a trick that I've used into the software. And that trick is this. you can have various office leave settings built into the software. Right here, you can see under office management, I can set up my working hours, but I can also set up casual leave, sick leave, earned leave, maternity leave, and other leave. In some countries, this may be required by law. So, depending on where you're from, you may want to keep track of this. And it's also just good to know this if you're going to hire somebody for a long time. Now, don't get put off by, hiring someone for a long time. All right, that might mean something like $80 to $200 a week. All right, somebody could be working full time for you out there for some simple tasks that are very time consuming. You could free up a lot of your time, and obviously you can shift what working hours you have and what you consider to be the first half of the day and the last half of the day and things like that over here. Very detailed software, and just like you said, very similar to all the CRMs out there. If I want to, customize your account and put a photo of, your face for this username, another profile picture of another face for another username, I can display it in there. So this is, as customizable as it gets. What do you think?
Oh, wow. And the other thing I like about it is it's so user-friendly. A lot of CRMs that I see out there are so complicated. They make you go through a long, drawn-out process of adding things, inputting things, and whatnot. But with your system, it seems very, very direct, straightforward, user-friendly, and basically drop in, drag, and choose.
Absolutely. I mean, this is not something as customizable as some of the most advanced softwares out there. But the truth is, all the softwares out there charge a monthly fee. What these companies want to do is they want to grab you by the hook and just, drag you along for years, charging you monthly access fees. Well, I don't really believe in access fees. I believe in lifetime access. If you're going to build a company around a software, you should feel confident in having it for life, not until the next bill comes around. If you're not able to pay that monthly bill, then what? Your business disappears? Should all your data go away just because you weren't able to cover a bill for a month? I don't believe that. So I created a one-time lifetime fee, no monthly fees.
Are you serious? Oh my gosh, so that's what makes Money CRM stand above the rest, right?
Absolutely.
It's basically having a one-time set fee. You get it set for life, no recurring fees or anything at all, right?
Now, yes, and on top of that, I'm not gonna, string anybody along with cheesy bonuses or anything like that, but there is one crucial component to Money CRM that I haven't mentioned, and that's Money CRM Outsourcing Secrets. And that's a video course where I talk at length about everything that we've discussed today in regards to outsourcing. I go step by step, every step of the way, and carry a complete newbie through just about everything they need to know to hire their first person and get that first task done. Even if you've never hired anybody to, wash your car or mow your lawn or, fix your bike, you can get started with outsourcing any sort of code related problems, graphic design related problems, content creation, link building, just about anything you can think of. You can get a professional out there to do it for you. And the truth is, if you want to make more money, the only way you can do that is if you create more time. So if you create work for somebody else, that means more time for you. It means you can spend greater amounts of focus on the more important things that can make you more money in the long run. So all the little things that you can simplify into step 1, 2, 3 should be simplified into step 1, 2, 3, and that's what I talk about in Money CRM Outsourcing Secrets.
Oh my gosh, well, Voss, it seems like you have a pretty killer product. I mean, you do
Thanks.
what a lot of most, you're welcome, you do like what a lot of most CRMs don't do out there. I mean, you provide people with one-time setup fee, and on top of that, you give them the outsourcing secrets that CRM companies don't bother to tell them. I mean, shoot, I can't even see another reason why anybody would want to jump in on this.
Well, a lot of people think that outsourcing is something that's for the rich companies or that it's inferior to offline hiring. They might say, why would I get somebody from overseas who's going to speak broken English, not understand half the things I'm saying, deliver inferior work, and is going to result in a complete waste of money as opposed to, you know, savings. You know, it's one thing to pay somebody half and still get the thing done, and it's another thing to pay somebody half and then get nothing usable. So people who are afraid of wasting money really shouldn't be, because there are ways to make sure that you get your work done before you pay. And if you pay, you get the work done. It doesn't really, you know, take a whole lot of, I guess, experience to figure this out. It's really formulaic. It's really step by step. If you just do the steps, you're going to learn how to outsource. You're going to learn how to get more time in your life.
Oh my gosh. Well, Voss, thank you so much for this interview. When does Money CRM release actually?
May 9th on Friday. That's going to be at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Now, for you and for your listeners, I'm going to open it up 2 hours early for a early bird. I want to give you guys an extra discount. It's going to release at $17, but for that time period, I will offer a $5 discount for the 2 hours right before 11 o'clock. So from 9 until 10, then 11, I'm going to give you $5 off the $17 front-end price, and then after that, that discount is going to disappear. So those who are listening in and, you know, thinking about whether or not to make that leap of faith, I suggest you do it because it's a one-time fee. It's less than the cost of a dinner, and you're not going to be charged in a year or in a month or, you know, in a quarter or anything like that. So there it is.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Voss. And for the people who are listening and for the people who are watching this video, don't hesitate to pick up Money CRM through the link below or wherever it may be at this time and point, because Voss is doing something unbelievable for my list of subscribers and for my Facebook group. You guys have heard it. He's opening it up 2 hours before he actually launches it, giving us an even more of a discount on what I believe to be as the end-all be-all of CRM systems. One-time fees, you get an outsourcing guide, and Voss is an all-around great person. Anything else you'd like to say, Voss, before we end?
That'll be it. I mean, think about it this way. If you want to start making more money, you got to start doing something differently, right?
Right.
That's all I got to say.
All right, well, thanks again, Voss, and thanks for everybody watching this. And be sure to click that link below right when it goes live, as Voss said, to my list of subscribers and to my Facebook group. He's letting it open to us 2 hours early, so be sure to click that link below. Thanks again, Voss. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Yep, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.